right, well, I'm Randall Sanderson. I started at Irving, I think, 1985 sounds right, or 84. And this is Nancy Plato. She was my first and second grade teacher. So. No, I had Miss Erickson. After that, shortly afterwards, Mrs. Ray. But,
yes, right. She was, I think, our third teacher. And our Karen Rogers might have been, I'm not sure.
I think Karen Rogers came in a little later.
After that.
Yeah, because I remember when she came, probably I was in third grade. I was kind of hoping also that Sue Greeno would come.
Sue is with her family in northern Minnesota this weekend. They had a big family get together, so she wasn't able to come, but I was hoping too that she'd be able to come.
Well, northern Minnesota's a nice place to be.
She lives out in Montana.
They don't live in South Dakota anymore?
No, they moved several years ago. And we have a lot of people who originally lived here, moved away, and come back with us. It's nice some of you hung in there for such a long time.
Sure. Well, I don't live too far away. I live in Minnesota.
Oh, I thought you lived in St.
No, I live in just south of Minneapolis. So we were chatting before we came out here about when Irving as a school was founded and when it started, because I really haven't thought about that too much. And you're saying it started in the late 70s?
Yes. John Holt wrote a book called Schools Without Failure, and the parents were inspired by the things that he suggested. And so they actually started the school outside of the school district and went to the school district and asked that it be included. And at that time, Irving was switching from the use that it had and was available. And so they took it to the school and put us there, and I was the first teacher hired. I was just telling Mrs. Blake, I remember very well that scene. My Lord Anderson principal, David Sunstead, was then school assistant superintendent, and he recommended me. And I sat and I could see with this table with 20 parents around it, and that was my school interview. Slightly intimidating, but that's how I got started. Janet Brady was someone that David Sunstead had met, and she moved up from Iowa, and was teaching me then. I interviewed her earlier and recommended her, and so she came in with me. And at the beginning, we had just two teachers, and I taught K through 3, and she taught 4 through 6, and she taught music, and I taught theater, and we both taught art, and flip-flopped classes.
You're really jack of all trades.
And we have a principal leader, so I call you the lead teacher. So you're very involved.
So the original 20 that were interviewing you, were they all of the parents who were to have kids at the new school?
We started that school outside of the district, yes, and had very high hopes and great expectations for the school that they were starting.
That's great.
Very idealistic.
Yeah. No, I wasn't ever sure how my parents found Irving or came to, kids have kind of a fairly myopic view of their world because naturally. So I always just took Irving for granted as where I went to school, and we were a little different because kids came from all over the city. But that principle of parental involvement was so key to our education, and I knew then, right, that this was a very different kind of education.
And your parents were among those idealistic people that came to us. Yes, absolutely. But we also had with parental involvement, continuous progress and individualized learning within the classroom.
Yes.
That was always part of it.
And I think the individualized learning certainly was almost required because of multiple grades being put together, but also it wasn't merely a requirement, it was also part of the philosophy.
Yes, and yet It was also necessary because we had such a wide variety of students. We had girls with their bright children, and one of their children had a challenge in the classroom. We also had children who were not doing well in school, and their parents were looking for something that would make them successful. So we had a very wide variety of children, and that made individualized learning a necessity.
Right. Well, when I think about that model too, there's a lot that can be to share with schools and when they look at how to maximize student achievement, because that's oftentimes is one of the banes of schools is how to cater to students of different levels, and in Irving it was like founded as part and parcel of how we go about things. I remember Jed McCaslin's mom. Jed was a student in my grade, and Karen McCaslin, when she was volunteering and I was in third grade with Miss Greeno, she was doing the ULE program, Unique Learning Experiences, which is sort of an accelerated add-on program for gifted students. And she was of the philosophy that the ULE techniques are really need not be only for gifted students, but can be applied for everybody. So when she was doing ULE, she incorporated that into our class itself, into the whole class. And I guess I don't remember, the pedagogy of ULE as being a student. We did activities, but I do remember that them stating that to us specifically, that we're going to do it differently this year. And one of the things I really appreciated is there was always an ethic of experimentation on part of the teachers, and I think I don't know how you did it, but it just worked well, because students, younger kids, always they are into routine and very literal, and we seem to, from my memory anyway, take to a lot of the experiments very well.
That's true, and another challenge was working with a wide variety of parents, because some of them were able to, as Karen did, really use their own skills with children, and others were not that child-oriented, and so each parent had to have their own individualized program as well.
Right.
And that took a lot of planning to get materials ready for parents as well as for children.
Sure. When I think about what you and your colleagues did with us, it's just amazing, because it's just another level of excellence and planning and everything to bring parents in as well with the children.
As I think back on it, I wonder how we did it. But at the time, it just seemed to be, this is what I do now, and that's the way it went. So I'm glad that it went well and has continued. I'm very delighted that they've been able to continue the program. I'm not sure it's the same program that it was, but I hope so. I haven't really been involved enough to find out about the program now, but I'm hoping it's doing just as well. I know this one thing, the gifted program, that's a different program in the district, has better test scores than All City, and it's the only school that does.